Spoiler alert. This is a review of Kamen Rider Gaim after I've seen the series. If you have not seen the series Kamen Rider Gaim, or plan to see the series Kamen Rider Gaim, please refrain from watching this video as there will be some minor spoilers.
Orange! Orange! Orange!
Orange. Oranges. Majestic. Sweet. Citrus.
Orange!
Hi guys, my name is Snazzy, and recently I finished watching a show called Kamen Rider Gaim. Now, Kamen Rider Gaim is part of a tokusatsu series known as Kamen Rider. If you're unfamiliar with what a tokusatsu is, it's essentially the same genre as Super Sentai, or as we know it in America, Power Rangers. So in its most watered down form, essentially a tokusatsu is a show about guys in cool costumes, fighting monsters, and explosions. Lots of explosions. Kamen Rider has gone back as far as 1971, with the first season being released in the Showa era. Now, with Gaim being the 24th overall, it is also simultaneously the 15th released in the Heisei era, with Kamen Rider Kuga being the first released in the Heisei era in 2000. Little history for you. Yeah, I did research, I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm going to be reviewing this show out of 4 aspects. First being the suits, second being the opening theme and music, third being the characters, and fourth being the story. Usually, seasons of Kamen Rider, or tokusatsus in general, have an overlying theme, like trains, or cars. Well, this time, we have 2 themes. The Sengoku era, famous for legendary samurai, and ancient turf wars, and warlords, and fruit. Surprisingly, they made it work pretty well. That leads us to our first topic of discussion. Suits are definitely the first impression for any tokusatsu, at least in my opinion. But Gaim's suits are really what reeled me in to check out the series. Like, I was put onto the series by my friend VibingJon. You should check him out, he's pretty cool. He has this alternate channel, I'll link it and put the little circle, you know what I'm talking about. Has a second channel where he talks a lot about tokusatsu, Super Sentai, Kamen Rider. He's really into that stuff. But when he was explaining to me at first, I was really confused. I was just like, they're samurai, but they're fruit. Why? But the amount of detail in these suits, they look so cool. Like, even just the amount of detail in only the visors is spectacular. I don't know how I don't know if they can actually see through the visors. Even with suits that you hardly see, like the kiwi or strawberry suit that only show up like once or twice in the series, still have so much detail. My personal favorite out of the suits has to be the Kachidoki that was debuted literally while the main character was falling out of the fucking sky. not only is that fucking awesome, but he also gets a Joker neutral special that decimates everything and is literally a DJ turntable at the same time. And on top of that, he beats the shit out of people with flags. 10 out of 10. No competition. The opening theme. Honestly, I don't have a problem with the opening theme. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. It doesn't get old, unless, you don't skip the intro after watching a lot of episodes in a row, but that's your own fault. But honestly, just for example, with a 1 being the Gundam Wing theme, and a 10 being the Kamen Rider Build theme, honestly, I'd put the opening theme at a solid 6.5. But since I'm linking this not only with the opening theme, but also the music in the season itself, I'm gonna bump it up to a 7, because the fight scene music, especially for my favorite suit, the Kachidoki, is just fucking awesome. Like, you can be at work doing your shit and just have that playing in your headphones, and it's actually like good music. So I'll give the opening theme and music a solid 7. I'm gonna be focusing on only a few characters, because there are a lot of background characters. Let's start with the protagonist. Kazuraba Koda. Coca-Cola. He's your pretty basic loser protagonist. Can't get a job, but he's pretty happy-go-lucky, pretty decent guy. He's got a good moral compass. He does have a bit of a Goku complex as far as being the protagonist and being strong and not being as smart as he is strong. But that's okay. I like him. He's good. And then you have your anti-hero second rider, Kumon Kaito, who was essentially Shadow the Hedgehog, but in human form. No, just kidding. He looks like it, though. But he's the edgy guy. And I'm not gonna lie, usually edgy main characters are, pretty... well... But the way that they wrote Kaito, sometimes I was more on his side than the protagonists. Which is, that's not something that happens very often. Usually you don't root for the opposing side, but I don't know, I found his character very interesting. And the fact that he's not just a dick, but he is dickish for a reason. And then we have Michi. Fuck Michi. Fuck Michi. But that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck Michi. Overall, the character design is pretty good though. Michi, as much as I hate him watching this series, they wrote his character extraordinarily well. But for the sake of spoilers, I will not elaborate. He was very well written. Fuck Michi. Overall, I'd give the character section a 7. 7 out of 10. Pretty good. Pretty good. The story. This is going to be a hard topic to cover because I don't want to spoil it too much. But I'll do what I can. So, overall, Gaim's story does start out very slow. Very slow. But, lighthearted enough. I mean, there's still monsters running around. chasing people, but all things considered, it's lighthearted enough. It's not until you get a little deeper, around episode 14 specifically, that things start to get a bit dark. And they only get darker. And suddenly, this lighthearted show about dancing and friendship and a vitamin C rich samurai who kicks ass becomes about murder.
Oh my god! No! Don't do it! No!
Guilt, depression, betrayal. And by the way, the world's ending, we're all gonna die. But like I said, I don't want to spoil too much. So, in my opinion, it does lose a few points for being so slow. But once it gets going, it's going, and I couldn't just watch one episode in a sitting. I had to watch at least 3 in a row before even taking a break to eat something. Genuinely, I enjoyed watching it. And, you know, the story caught me off guard a few times even. For that, honestly, I'm gonna give it a 9. Overall, that's 10 for the suit, 9 for the story, 7 for the characters, and 7 for the opening. Altogether, my calculator says that it is 8.25 out of 10. Hey guys, Future Snazzy here. I'm sitting here editing this video, and I've thought about my my rating a bit, and this total number really doesn't reflect how much I genuinely enjoyed watching this show. So I'm going to cheat and add an extra point to the characters slot, because I really do think they wrote Koda's character really well. So I'm doing that, and you can't stop me. Honestly, it is a great show. I would definitely recommend watching it. I'm watching Kamen Rider Decade next. Seems pretty good so far. I'll see you guys around. Orange.